championships, and that's life in the SEC East. It's just I think the road schedule is what makes it a little bit tougher than last year.
Absolutely. What do you think are going to be the biggest differences between what Loggains is going to do? Loggains, I never. Loggains, Dowell Loggains. What do you think the biggest differences are going to be for Beamer's staff here offensively versus what we've seen the last couple of years with Satterfield?
Well, one thing I don't think you'll see Shane Beamer ever do again is allow his offense to become too complicated, and that's what happened last year. A lot of people want to know what happened. How did South Carolina play that well offensively against Tennessee and Clemson, and even in the bowl game against Notre Dame versus how they had performed the majority of the year prior to that? And the biggest thing was they simplified everything. They reduced their personnel packages down from 21 to 7. They, drastically reduced the number of plays that Marcus Satterfield had to pick from on the sideline on game day. And the players responded, and they knew what they were doing really for the first time, play in and play out. And that's really what changed. And that's why Spencer Rattler played so much better. He wasn't lost anymore. I think that's the biggest thing Beamer learned under Satterfield, and is not going to allow that to happen again under Loggains. And Loggains obviously saw what happened as well. So I think you'll still see a lot of the pro style concepts that Satterfield used, but I think it'll be easier for the players to understand. And I think you'll see more air raid stuff within, the things that he learned under Kendall Briles at Arkansas, and just some of the things he's learned since he returned to college from the NFL. I think he wants to blend those two and really utilize his personnel. I think that was another weakness of Marcus Satterfield was, because he had so many personnel packages, there were just too many instances where his playmakers were standing on the sideline versus out there on the field with a chance to make plays. And I think Loggains is going to do a much better job of building around his playmakers and making sure those guys are on the field as much as possible and being put in a position where they can, use their strengths and make bigger plays.
Just thinking about just a year from now, do you think we'll end up looking at this offensive coordinator change as a net positive for South Carolina?
I do, personally. Obviously there's no way to know that for sure because Loggains has never done it at the college level, but just based on everything I've heard about how he's integrated himself with the other coaches, what the players think of him, what Beamer thinks of him, what opposing coaches who are familiar with his coaching ability and style think of him, his recruiting ability. Satterfield really recruited quarterbacks, and that was it. Loggains recruiting anybody they wanted him to help with, and that's been a nice change for them on the recruiting trail as well. He's making phone calls. He's much more involved when kids are on campus.